We're now live. I'll give you all a few moments to get tuned up on your laptops or cell phones or computers or PCs. This is a special report, which is very important for many reasons. Mayor Halevi Weinstein will be with us momentarily. I'll give you all a moment to get tuned in there. Please do start sharing this on our website with israelnow.ca, as well as on our YouTube page, Never Again Live, and our Facebook pages, Never Again Live, as well as israelnow.ca. This is a special report, and I do find it somewhat shocking, the information that we're going to be presenting today. As always, our host, Mayor Halevi Weinstein. Again, this is a special report. We will also air it later, the recorded version, share it on our YouTube page later on today as well. I'm Dr. B in the studio. If you have any comments, to send it to the chat. We're open for private chats on our YouTube page. So the University of Toronto President Gertner met in Ramallah with Canadian Representative of Palestinian Authority David de Silva, who insinuates that Israel and the Jews are criminalized in Christmas, shackling Santa Claus. Interestingly, after the meeting with not only David de Silva, but other Palestinian activists and anti-Israel spokespeople, he came back and decided that he's going to reject the definition of anti-Semitism dictated by the IHRA, which is being accepted not only by other universities, but by cities, states, and countries all over the planet. But David encouraged Gertner to again reject this definition. And that's despite the fact that on the University of Toronto campus, both undergraduate and graduate level student organizations have accepted BDS. They march freely on campus. They have their pro-Palestinian activists. It's become an unsafe place for Jewish students to go to school. May will talk more about this shortly, as well as the flow of money which comes from Jewish donors. They need to stop donating to the Antisemitic University of Toronto. As you always like to remind us, is that the world is a dangerous place, not because of those who do evil, but because of those who look on and do nothing, as Einstein said. Here at israelnow.ca, we don't stand by and do nothing. We're active, we're proactive. So please support us and help us get the word out to dispel the lies and rumors from the activists, from BDS, from anti-Semites all over the world. Only together can we fight anti-Semitism. So find us at israelnow.ca, as well as Facebook and YouTube. We're going to now have Mayor Halevi Weinstein come on and take away with the rest of the show.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to ask everyone who's joining us if you could please share this on the various different platforms that you use. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever platform you use, we'd appreciate it. We'll reach a lot more people. It's very important what we're going to be discussing today. So I'll just give it a moment. People could please share this. Okay. Topic today, we're talking about University of Toronto. Last week on Wednesday, the University of Toronto said, through their president, Gertner, who wrote an article in the Globe and Mail, that the University of Toronto has rejected, and he has rejected, the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism that has been used by hundreds of institutions all over the world and governments to fight and identify anti-Semitism. The Jewish community has donated millions of dollars to University of Toronto. This announcement by Merrick Gertler has been met by celebrations from the BDS. The Palestinian Authority representative to Canada, early this morning, she tweeted out her support for Gertler's position and condemning Israel. There's the meme on the screen. How did this come about? Merrick Gertler, apparently in November, went on a trip to Ramallah. In Ramallah, he met with the Canadian representative to the Palestinian Authority, David Del Silva. He took a photo with him there. David Del Silva has a history of promoting anti-Semitic tropes. In fact, just before Christmas, David Del Silva, on his Twitter account, posted a meme, posted a vicious meme, accusing Israel with a picture of Santa in chains, being prevented by the security wall from entering into Bethlehem. What this meme, what the message behind the meme is, that Israel and the Jewish people have criminalized Christmas. This is another blood libel of many that's circulating on the internet right now. The Palestinian Authority representative to Canada, she's been tweeting out similar memes. And all kinds of BDS organizations have been tweeting out all sorts of memes as well, accusing Israel and the Jews, in quotations, the Zionists, of stopping Christmas. Some are going so far to say it's the Zionists who killed Jesus. They go on with their nonsense, their lie. Jesus was a Palestinian. The truth is, Jesus was a Jew. He was born in, and they're not even historically accurate, the BDS, any of them. He was a Jew who was born, according to the Christian New Testament, in Bethlehem, which is in Judea. That's a quote from the Christian New Testament. There was no Palestine then. This is vicious anti-Semitism. Just over a year ago, Gerald Schwartz and Heather Reisman donated over $100 million to University of Toronto. There are others who have given a lot of money to the University of Toronto. There's the Tenenbaum family. They've given tens of millions of dollars. Most recent, last year, they gave $10 million to University of Toronto. We're listing some of the families who have given millions of dollars to University of Toronto. Because from the president down, they're accepting anti-Semitism and accepting the BDS and embracing the BDS, and BDS organizations are empowered on campus. We're calling on the Jewish community in Canada to cease giving donations to University of Toronto. You're actually enabling anti-Semitism by doing such. There are other causes that you could give in the Jewish community. There are families, Jewish families, that are struggling to pay for Jewish tuition, for Jewish education. Give your money to something more meaningful in the Jewish community, or give to some other hospitals that would make a contribution to Canada. Do not give to University of Toronto because you're enabling anti-Semitism. Just over a year ago, November 2021, the University of Toronto Scarborough Campus Student Union passed a resolution calling for a ban on kosher food produced by pro-Israel companies. Can you believe this? This is where we're at. And what was the action taken by Merrick Gertler? He said he was deeply troubled by that motion that was passed. He was deeply troubled. I'm deeply troubled that any Jew would contribute any money to University of Toronto. We don't want his sympathy, and it's not sympathy, because when you start hanging out with those who are spreading blood libels against the Jewish people and promoting that Israel has no right to exist and Israel should be destroyed, and Jews on campus should be targeted, you're not a friend of the Jewish people. We have some video that we could show of Heather Reisman, in fact, being presented with an honorary degree by University of Toronto by Merrick Gertler. This is not an honor to receive anything from him. It's not an honor at all. It's disgrace for the Jewish community to try this. Take a look.
Toronto's highest honor under these unique circumstances. I would also like to thank Dr. Gerald Schwartz, also a University of Toronto honorary graduate, for agreeing to serve as hooder, an important ceremonial role in the conferral portion of the convocation ceremony, through the Gerald Schwartz and Heather Reisman Foundation. Among many other worthy causes, the foundation supports the Sinai Health System Foundation, St. Michael's Hospital Foundation, Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation, United Way of Greater Toronto, and the Toronto International Film Festival. In addition, Ms. Reisman and her husband are exceptionally generous supporters of the University of Toronto, and she has served as advisor for numerous faculties and strategic initiatives. The university recognized her volunteer service with the Arbor Award in 1995. Her many outstanding accomplishments have been acknowledged with several honorary degrees, appointment to the Order of Canada, induction into the Canadian Business Hall of Fame, and recognition as one of Canada's most powerful women by the Women's Executive Network. The Financial Times has listed her as one of the top 50 businesswomen in the world. For her outstanding service for the public good, as a champion of literacy and an exceptional volunteer and philanthropist, and for her excellence in the professions as a nationally esteemed business leader, Chancellor Patton, on behalf of the Governing Council, I ask you to confer the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa upon Heather Reisman.
University, so esteemed in Canada and around the world, is an extraordinary institution. To enrich rather than exploit the miracle and magic of humanity. Be resilient. The world is yours to shape. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Reisman. And let me
Mayor, back to you.
It's very hard to describe the feelings when you see the level of anti-Semitism on that university campus, and when you see from the president down that that's accepted and embraced. And for Heather Reisman to be overjoyed receiving this honorary degree from an anti-Semite and an anti-Semitic enabler, Merrick Gertler. We're just finishing Hanukkah, the victory of the Maccabees. And back then we had Jews, Hellenists, who joined with the Greek enemy. trying to get their favor, doing whatever it takes to fit in. We have to call out those members of our Jewish community and say, no, stop. Do not fund. You're not going to get honors from us in the Jewish community if you're funding or enabling anti-Semitism. That's exactly what's going on right now. Here's a short list. The Gluskin and Granovsky families, $7 million to University of Toronto. Tenenbaum, $10 million. David Asper, $25 million. Sandra and Joseph Rotman, $100 million. Schwartz and Reisman, already said them, $100 million to University of Toronto. That was just in 1 year alone. The Koffler family. The list goes on. I want people, our supporters, help us reach those Jewish donors in our community and give them the information so that they make a strong statement to reject the University of Toronto and to stop giving funds, any support to the University of Toronto. I can't urge you stronger enough. Please reach out to us. Send us an email. Go on our website, israelnow.ca, and contact us. Help us. Help us on our mission right now to convince the Jewish community to no longer financially support the University of Toronto, to cease and desist your donations. There are other causes. And I have to emphasize again, every dollar you're giving to University of Toronto is enabling anti-Semitism. We don't need it. We don't need that. We asked the doctor in the studio, are there any other memes to show? You see that kosher food becomes a BDS flash? Yeah. That's what's going on there.
Yeah, I think I'll just go through the memes we've already shown, just so people now can kind of absorb what's going on here. I mean, the basically University of Toronto has become a haven for Palestinian activists, for woke anti-Semites, and they're allowed to just run rampantly, which if the president is speaking of fairness, then his excuse for not endorsing the IHRA definition is because he doesn't want to quiet the alternative viewpoints. But yet he's blocking the definition and he's allowing BDS to run rampant. So what's kind of interesting on all those notes, so let me go through some of these memes that we looked at earlier, just to kind of further emphasize these facts. I mean, this is promoting more hatred. And then we have the woke progressive Jewish groups, and I say Jew-ish, like independent Jewish voices, who think it's wonderful. But yet it's very interesting if you go look at what countries have actually endorsed the IHRA definition. I mean, we're talking, the University of Toronto won't do it, but yet Albania, Argentina, Bahrain, Bulgaria, Canada, Cyprus. I mean, how can the university president whose mother survived the Holocaust, who's from Czechoslovakia, have the nerve to not endorse the definition? You know who else does not endorse the definition? Here's a couple lists. Amenu, Americans for Peace Now, these Jewish organizations, J Street, Israel Now, Reform Judaism, Human Rights Watch. These are in bed with Black Lives Matter, with Palestinian activists. It's a Chandra, as my grandparents certainly would have said. So we move along the other memes. I mean, you think about it, BDS is permitted. It's not only permitted, it's endorsed. They're allowed to register and have these, free Palestine, Israel apartheid signs, yet they won't endorse the definition of anti-Semitism. If that's not the epitome of absurdity, and as Mayor has gone over in detail, but we're not talking about $2 or $3 or $5 million. We're talking about 100, 200. We're talking about $500 million, not to mention that Maria Merkel-Koffler, they gave 350 acres of real estate for the University of Toronto to build buildings on. So the Jews continue to support it, and the college continues to offend us with their heinous failure to accept the very basic definition of anti-Semitism. Mayor,
I should point out as well, one more thing to point out is that this Canadian rep to the Palestinian Authority, David Del Silva, who had the meeting in Ramallah with Merrick Gertler, if you go on to his Twitter account, you look who he follows. Who he follows. Now, he follows a lot of people. From the top, I looked at least the initial 20. He follows so many BDS organizations that are in Canada that are rabid anti-Semites. He follows them. He follows so-called Palestinian artists that come up with these memes that are anti-Semitic. He follows them. That's where he gets the meme from, accusing Israel and the Jewish people of criminalizing Santa Claus. The Canadian rep to the PA before him even had some problems meeting with those who were accused of being involved in serious terrorism as well. So he's not a friend of the Jewish people, and Gertler meeting with him and smiling. And like you mentioned, his mother was a survivor of the Holocaust, is abominable, unconscionable. Basically, the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, it says that Israel should not be held to a standard different than any other country in the entire world. Criticism is fine, but it's not criticism. When your main point is that Israel should be destroyed, Jews who support Israel should be attacked, that's not criticism. That's incitement to genocide against the Jewish people. That's what it is. And that is what Merrick Gertler is embracing from now on. So cut the nonsense and cease and desist to provide financial support to the University of Toronto. Join our campaign. We're going to work very hard at this. I'm going to try my best to meet with Gerald Schwartz and Heather Reisman, to meet with the Tenenbaums, to meet with all philanthropists from our community that have been giving generously to University of Toronto. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to work hard. I want you to work hard as well. I want you to join our campaign. Please get involved with us. And also, we could use some donations as well. Go on our website, israelnow.ca, make a donation. We need to do the hard work. Can you imagine if a philanthropist in the Jewish community gave a donation of just millions upon millions of dollars so that the Jewish community could sue the daylights out of various BDS organizations here and embroil them in court cases, one after another, that those who target our synagogues, there's so much we could do. We need the support. We need the support. We got to get the job done. We have to fight the fight. No question about it. Our doctor in the studio, is there anything extra to add? Because if there isn't, we'll sign off, make this short, right to the point.
Well, I thought maybe just to summarize today's show again, and I know this is not convenient to a lot of people Monday around noon, so please do share. This will be available on our YouTube page, as well as we'll post it on our Facebook pages. But just in summary of what we discussed today, I think it's important that we just look over that University of Toronto, this is not a light commentary. Today's meeting and today's program is extremely important for us to realize what's going on, and we do realize it. The question is how to spread it. University of Toronto has become a known hotbed for anti-Semitic Palestinian activists, BDS-supporting students, as well as professors. Just go to the Canary Mission page and see how many students and professors from Canada are blatant anti-Semites, and yet they're allowed to get away with it. And I'm all in favor of freedom of speech, but you got to give both sides of the issue. And by blocking the definition, so Jewish students no longer feel safe on campus. We've been told this. Both undergraduate and graduate level student organizations have endorsed BDS, but they've rejected the IHRA definition. They threaten the well-being of Jewish students. Attempts to ban kosher food on campus are ongoing. How does that help the pseudo-Palestinian Fakistinian cause by not allowing kosher food on campus? President Gertner recently met in Ramallah, like we discussed, with anti-Israel activists, including Canadian representative to the Palestinian Authority, David De Silva. De Silva spreads anti-Semitic lies and insinuates that Jews and the state of Israel have shackled and criminalized the celebration of Christmas, while in reality, if you go to Israel right now, you have Muslim symbols, you have Christmas trees, you have menorahs. You go to Haifa, the main square in Haifa, and they're giving equal time, equal footage, and equal forum to Jews, Christian, Muslims, Baha'is, gays, straights, and yet the University of Toronto won't even accept the basic definition of what anti-Semitism is, while De Silva spreads anti-Semitic lies and insinuates that Jews and the state of Israel have shackled and criminalized Christmas. Shortly after the rendezvous in Ramallah is when Gertner first officially rejected the definition. Why? So vicious Jew haters and Israel bashers are given a forum to spread their racist doctrine. Mayor, have the last word, and then I'm going to play Hatikva.
Everyone, like I said before, join us. Get involved with us. We're taking action. You know, just over a week ago, on a Saturday night, on a cold Saturday night, in front of the yeshiva Or Chaim, right after Shabbat, an hour and a half after Shabbat, the BDS gathered, trying to intimidate the Jews attending an event in the Or Chaim yeshiva. At the last minute, I was able to assemble security to be there. I was able to assemble Jews to be there to counter them, to make sure that they would not get inside the Or Chaim yeshiva and harass the Jews who are there attending the event. I'm back. And this is a wake-up call to our community. Get active. COVID's over. No more lockdowns. No excuse. We have a lot of work to do. As long as I am here, and I'm going back to Israel soon, but as long as I am here, I'm going to fight the fight, and I'm going to call on supporters to join me fighting the fight. This is the fight we have to do right now about University of Toronto. We have a lot of work to do. Again, go on our website, send us an email, get involved with us, send us a donation. IsraelNow.ca. Get involved. Thank you very much, and please share this.
As soon as I could find Hatikva, we're going to play that. So we'll be with you momentarily to close out. And again, please do share this. And Amy thanks us for the show, Mayor, as does Canadian Sunset. Keenan, we have a lot of people following us today. So let's close it out. And Mayor and our audience will be back in a few days.
נפש יהודי הומייה ותן מזרח קדימה עין לציון צופיה
Seychelles,